Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, hello, and if you are not new here, thank you for coming back to watch another video of mine. Today's my birthday, guys. It is March 11th 2025 and it is my birthday and I am 20 years old. Like what is this world? What do you mean I'm 20? That's crazy, but it's true. But this video is going to be me talking about my physical TBR. Yeah, that's what we're gonna be talking about today because I have a lot of books on that list. Now, what I will tell you right now is I am doing a book haul like pretty recently or pretty soon. So those books that are going to be in that video, I'm not going to show you those in this video just because like it'd be real repetitive. So I'm going to count them and I will tell you how many those are, but I'm not going to show you because no spoilers here on this YouTube channel. So just wanted to do a disclaimer as on that before I started. Now onto the embarrassing stuff. I have a lot of unread books as we know. So I just want to say be nice to me, don't be mean, and yeah, we're gonna see if the number has changed since when did I do this last? I feel like it was like the summer of last year. So we're gonna see if it's changed, if it's gone down a lot, if it's gone up a lot. We're going to see. I'm gonna first count all those books that I recently bought and let y'all know because there's a lot of those too. Oh, it's just so embarrassing. It's so embarrassing, but let's get on with that. Okay, so for the books that are going to be in my like reading wrap up type thing, I have 23, I think I counted. So we're just gonna add those in. That's so embarrassing. And yeah, now I'll actually be able to like show you the books that I haven't read. And yeah, I'm just gonna like show you. I'm not gonna give you any reasons why because one, that's doing too much, and two, there's too many on this list for me to go in depth on why I haven't read these books. We're not doing that. I'm gonna show you and that's gonna be it. So the first book I'm gonna show you are the books that are like on the shelf behind me, and the first one is Nick and Charlie by Alice Oseman. I've read all 5 volumes of like the Heartstopper series, but I have not read this, and this is gonna be like a quick read. I don't think it's gonna take me very long. But yeah, this is book number, I guess technically 24, but book number 1 of the books that I'm showing you. So the next books I have are all my Stephen King books, and the first one is You Like It Darker by Stephen King. This is just like short stories, I feel like, of horror. We then have Fairy Tale by Stephen King. This is like definitely fantastical. I heard Ian and Ashlyn talk about this book. Now, I do love Stephen King, and they said that this wasn't their favorite. I honestly don't think this is gonna be my favorite, but I love Stephen King, so I'm gonna read it anyway. You know, Under the Dome. So this is part of the Dark Tower. Is it? Actually, guys, I think I just lied. I don't think this is a part of the Dark Tower like series. Actually, yeah, I don't think it is. But she's thick and that's scary. That's scary. She's like over 1,000 pages. So this will be fun when I feel like I want to be like tortured a little bit. This will be the choice. We also have Carrie by Stephen King. I did start this at some point, but this book and also Misery by Stephen King are both really hard books for me to read because they don't really have like actual chapters, and it kind of stresses me out when I read them. So that's why I've started both of these. Actually, I finished Misery at one point. I just remember absolutely nothing about it, which is why I'm keeping it on this list. But Carrie, I started it and I just like, it stresses me out. So that's why those are on here. The next book is Only If You're Lucky by Cece William. This is a thriller. That's all I know. Romantic Comedy by Curtis Sinfield. I've had this for so long, but I've heard that it like talks about the pandemic, and I don't really know if I want to go back in time to that area. Oh, Listen for the Lie by Amy Tintera. The Pairing by Casey McQuiston. I'm honestly surprised that I haven't read this yet because we know how I feel about Miss Casey McQuiston. I love her, and specifically her male romances. Eat them up every time. I really do. Even though this is only her second one, Red, White, and Royal Blue has my entire heart. We know that. Leather and Luck by Bryn Weaver. Obviously, I can't read this because the first book is also on this list. So, yeah. Dear Edward by Anne Napolitano. This is the prettiest book ever, and I haven't read it because I know this is gonna be sad and it's gonna make me cry. So, I'm not too happy to do that to myself. Sleep Tight by J.H. Markert. Yeah, this is also like a horror, I think. Someone in the Attic by Andrea Mara. Thriller. True Love Experiment by Christina Lauren. So this book I think is a part of a series. I feel like I have to read the Soulmate Equation before I read this, and I just don't have that, which is why this hasn't been read. So it's really not my fault, if we're being honest. It's really not my fault. We then have The Fury by Alex McLadies. I rated The Freaking Silent Patient a 4.75. It was very high, so I'm excited. Butcher and Blackbird by Bryn Weaver. Blue Sisters by Coco Malors. Darling Girls by Sally Hepworth. And Just for the Summer by Abby Jimenez. I do actually hope to get to this soon because I am reading yours truly sometime this month. The Bodyguard by Catherine Center. Yes, I know. I still haven't read it. Leave me alone. Okay? Leave me alone. The Soulmate by Sally Hepworth. And She Started It by C.N. Gilbert, which are both thrillers. So those will be fun, hopefully. We also have You Again by Kate Goldbeck. Once again, I know I haven't read it and everyone else has. Annie Bot by Sierra Greer. Ready or Not by Cara Bastone. She also just came out with a new book, which I think sounds really good. And then The Hacienda by Isabel Cañas. Yeah, I know. And I feel like I should add these three. There's 3 books in this blind date with the book, but obviously I don't know what they are, so can't really add any names for you. We have The Getaway by Lamar Giles. The Gray Sierra by Kim Leggett, who the only person I've heard talk about this is Haley Pham. Wrong Place, Wrong Time by Gillian McAllister. Sisters by Daisy Johnson. I have heard literally not a soul talk about this book, but it sounds so interesting. The Quiet Tenant by Clemence McAlone. That's what I'm gonna say. This also I've seen no one talk about, but it also looks really good. Ace of Spades by this author. I don't want to mess up the name. I would feel really bad. But Ace of Spades. As Good as Dead and Good Girl Bad Blood by Holly Jackson. I have read the first of the series, so I honestly should just get on with reading the second and third. But we know how I am with series. I just don't read them all at the same time. Just can't do it. I don't know what it is. Now we're on to my favorite author, Shrine, because we know that's up there. We have Here's to Us and What If It's Us by Adam Silvera and Becky Albertalli. I've never read anything by Becky, but I have read some Adam Silvera books, and we know I love them. History Is All You Left Me and More Happy Than Not by Adam Silvera. Both of these are very, very sad books. All of his books are sad books, so I'm just a little bit hesitant to read these. And Infinity Reaper by Adam Silvera. I want to read this so bad, and I still need to get the 3rd book because I was just waiting for it to come out with these covers because I have the other 2 here. Gotta get the other one like this. Now we're on to Frederick Bachman, my pride and joy. Britt Marie was here. I loved Britt Marie in My Grandmother Asked Me to Tell You She's Sorry. I got a good amount of the way through this book and then just never finished it. So, but I did like seeing her in here, so I think I'm gonna love her story. I think she's very interesting. And then we have Anxious People, which I have also started. So I'm in the middle of a lot of Frederick Bachman books. I'm in the middle of 2 Frederick Bachman books, and then there's one that I just haven't read. So there's those. The Ministry of Time by Colleen Bradley. I honestly don't know what genre this is. Like, I honestly really don't know. I just heard a lot of people talking about it, so I got it. Easily influenced right here. Chain Gang All-Stars by, once again, I'm just saying Nana. Chain Gang All-Stars. I did try and start this at one point, and then I just wasn't really in the mood for it. Killers of a Certain Age by Deanna Raybourn. I also started this. It's still in here. I got to chapter 2, page 22. Wasn't into it at that point. I'm sure it's gonna be a great book. We will see. Conversations with Friends by Sally Rooney. Midnight and Life After Death by Sister Soldier. I can't read these until I read the first book, which is The Coldest Winter Ever. And I don't have that. My mom knows why. Sundial by Catriona Ward. This is a horror book that I don't think anyone has ever talked about, at least that I've heard. So, and then A Little Life by Hanya Yanagihara. Terrified to read this. Like, actually so scared. I bet you guys weren't expecting to see me here, but I was editing and I realized I forgot an entire shelf of books that I haven't read yet. So those books include The Hawthorne Legacy by Jennifer Lynn Barnes, After I Do, Forever Interrupted, and Maybe in Another Life by Taylor Jenkins Reid, All the Right Places by Jennifer Niven, and Firefly Lane by Kristen Hanna. So there you go. 1984 by George Orwell. This is indeed the longest book that I have had on my shelf. I've had this for almost 3 years at this point. 100 Years of Solitude by Gabriel Garcia Marquez. The Phantom of the Opera by Gaston Leroux. This book I did start and I got 36 pages in. Yay me. Crime and Punishment by Dostoevsky. I actually really want to read this. I think this is going to be such a good book. Said no one ever, but I'm actually so excited to read this. Jane Eyre by Charlotte Bronte. Pride and Prejudice and Persuasion, both by Jane Austen. The Testament by Margaret Atwood. We know how I felt about The Handmaid's Tale. I think this is going to hit. Our very itty bitty Riley Sager shrine, and that is Final Girls, Survive the Night, and Middle of the Night, all by Riley Sager. The Will of the Many by James Islington, or Islington. Scary. Circe and The Song of Achilles, both by Madeline Miller. So apparently this author, I thought these were her only 2 books, but apparently she writes under pen names. If that's true, let me know, because I thought, I didn't know that was a thing that she did. So, fill me in. The Sword of Kaigen by Emma Wang. And Kings of the Wild by Nicholas Eames. We have The Serpent and Dove trilogy by Shelby Morin, I think. Morin? Yeah. The Six of Crows duology by Leigh Bardugo. The Shadow and Bone trilogy by Leigh Bardugo. The first 2 books in the Throne of Glass series by Sarah J. Maas. Then we have, these are not in order, but the last 4 books of the ACOTAR series. I did read the first one. We know how I felt about that. We have the Shatter Me series by Tahira Mafi. We have The Stars Are Dying by Chloe C. Penaranda. A Song to Drown Rivers by Anne Liang. Once again, for sure cover by, but also an author by. Ninth House by Leigh Bardugo. And Phantasma by Kaylee Smith. And then for what I call my pretty fantasy books, we have Throne of the Fallen by Carrie Maniscalco. Forging Silver into Stars by Bridget Kemmerer. I don't know. Powerless by Lauren Roberts. And lastly, Snow Globe by Sun Young Park, which I have indeed started last year in like January. We don't need to talk about it. Not necessary. We also have Trust of the Emerald Sea by Brandon Sanderson. It's just like stacked on books, so I just don't really feel like getting it out. Same with Underluck by Mariana Zapata. We have 16 and Pregnant by Lala Thomas. Am I ever gonna read this book? I honestly don't know. It is on the fence for my unhaul, and I guess you guys will just have to wait and see that video to see if this makes the cut. And then we have the Summer I Turned Pretty series by Miss Jenny Han. Next we have memoirs and like nonfiction. Only one of them is nonfiction, the rest are memoirs. We have The Blood of Emmett Till by Timothy B. Tyson, A Stolen Life by J.C. Duggard, Unsweetened by Jodie Sweetin, A Sucky Love Story by Brittany Louise Taylor. Honestly, her story, I watched her YouTube video on it. Absolutely insane. How to Save Babylon by Sophia Sinclair, and Will by Will Smith. We have More Than Words and Most of All You by Mia Sheridan. I got these because they were said to be in the same series as Archer's Voice. I've literally heard no one talk about these. So, are they really? I mean, I really want to read them because I really enjoyed both. Why I enjoyed Archer's Voice. So, I am still going to read them. We have the next 4 books in the Magnolia Park series. I have indeed only read the first one and wasn't a fan, so I'm kind of scared to read the other ones, but we will see if I ever do that. I'll definitely read Daisy Hates, and how I feel about this book will then determine if I finish the series. Wish me luck. We have The Match by Sarah Adams. I'm really excited to read this. I think this is going to be super cute. I'm so excited. I really, honestly, because I saw this at Target, and I was like, oh my gosh, there's a dog on the cover. That's all I really needed to see, and I got it. We have By a Thread by Lucy Score. Honestly, I'm going to be so for real with you guys. I'm not inclined to read this at all. I honestly, if I don't read this soon, it probably won't stay in my library for very long. I read the Knock 'Em Out series, and honestly, that was enough of Lucy Score for me. Not that it was bad. Like, I enjoyed the series for what it was. The second one was my favorite. Unpopular opinion. But, like, the third one, I wasn't crazy about. So I'm not really like itching to read any more of her books. Like, a new one just came out and I could have got it, and I saw it and I was like, oh my gosh, this is pretty, and then I put it down and walked away. So I don't know. The next 2 books in the Dreamland Billionaire series, Terms and Conditions and The Final Offer, all by Lauren Asher. I enjoyed the first one for the most part. I gave it a 4 and it was cute. But one of my problems with the book, if you guys, you guys haven't watched that video, well, it's being posted today, so you guys might have watched it. It's because the book was too long. These are both longer. So I don't know how I'm gonna do with that. I just feel like, honestly, specifically with a romance book, especially if it's not a slow burn, why does it need to be close to 500 pages? Like, why does it need to be that long? It doesn't. It doesn't, but nonetheless, they are. So I will read these at some point, and we'll see how I do with them. I have the next book in the Boys of Tommen series. This is Keeping 13, which is the second book. I've been buying these books specifically as I go because they gonna take up a lot of space. I know that I'm gonna like them. I kind of want to treat myself, you know, and make myself wait. So I have Keeping 13 by Chloe Walker. Ooh, I didn't realize how floppy this book is. I am so excited to read this book. I have You With a View by Jessica Joyce. This is not the book of hers that everyone is talking about. Like, I think people still talk about this book, but The X-Files is like her most talked about book, I feel. But I wanted to start with this one because I think this one came first, and I want to read the one that came first. So, You With a View. People We Meet on Vacation. I now own all of Emily Henry's books. I never thought that I would say that. I do want to tell you, I think that I may be unhauling Book Lovers. I did not like that book, but I kind of want to keep it just because I want to be like, I read all of her books. But I don't know. This one I think I will like because a lot of people don't like it. So I think I am gonna like it because a lot of people love Book Lovers and I did not like that. Touch the Sun by Jennifer Hartman. I've heard so much about this author and I just have not read any of her books. And I saw this one randomly and I was like, that seems so good. So I got it. Make a Scene by Mimi Grace. Because Countdown by Eddie Easton. I think this is gonna be really good, and it takes place in Houston if I'm not mistaken. So When I Think of You by my Ariel. I honestly got this because the cover is beautiful. Watercolor, that's so pretty. And then the next two books are Hannah Bonham Young books. One of my favorite books in the world is out on a limb, and so I got her next two. And then she came out with Out of the Woods, which I don't have yet, and then there's another one coming out in like September, but these need to be read before I get those. Imogen, obviously, by Becky Albertal. I got this because she has a book with Adam Silvera, and I wanted to read this to determine if I liked her writing or not, and I just haven't read it. So this series by St. Abby, which is a serial killer romance, I want to read this very soon because it just, I don't know, I think I'm gonna love it, and it'll be like my dip into dark romance because I think Scarred from the Never After series by Emily McIntyre is considered a dark romance, but I just didn't really see it. So this will be like my real taste test with that type of genre. Next we have the last three in the Off-Campus series, Shadowhunters Codex by Cassandra Clare. I think I'm supposed to read this in between 3 and 4. I'm honestly not too sure. We have the last three in the Mortal Instruments series. I read the first 3. Yes, I read the first 3 and I really enjoyed them. Well, that's actually a lie. I enjoyed the first 2. The second or the third one was alright, but I have these 3, but I think I have to read this in between. I honestly don't know. I have it written down because I just can't for the life of me remember where I'm supposed to read the Shadowhunter universe in. So I have it on my phone, but I have these 3 left in the Mortal Instruments series. And then I have the Infernal Devices, which I'm also supposed to read at some point between, I don't know. Y'all will see when I read them though, because yeah, but that's all. And I Lived by Steven Salvatore. I need to read this year, or this is getting unhauled because I've had this for way too long and I've started it like 3 times and I just can't get past chapter 2. So I don't know. I'm gonna try. I'm really gonna try. Once Upon a K-Pop Prom by Kat Cho. This one I've also had for a hot minute and I just haven't read it. I think I got this after I read XOXO because I just needed something like that again, and this one I started it and it just wasn't giving me what I needed it to, so I stopped. But I think I will revisit this. I Hope This Doesn't Find You by Anne Liang. I recently read This Time It's Real and I wasn't too crazy about that, but I do think that I'm gonna like this more. Why, I honestly have no idea, but I think I will. It gives me To All the Boys I Loved Before vibes, and that's enough for me. The Heart Principle by Helen Huang. This is the last book of the Kiss Quotient series. I don't know if it has a name. Yeah, this is the last one, so I hope to get through this very soon because I really liked all the other books in that series. Okay, we're on to like the final stretch. These are the last books that I need to show you. This is a long video. We have First Time Color by BK Borson. This was on my March TBR and I did not read it, and I'm still in the middle of reading it, so technically it is unread because I'm not even like halfway through. So, First Time Color. And then the rest of the books are books that are on my March TBR, which is why they're not with the other counterparts, like the other authors in series. That's why, because they're on my March TBR. They're in a different space. So we have Cujo by Stephen King. Out There Screaming, edited by Jordan Peele. This is like an anthology of a bunch of different horror stories. The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue by V.E. Schwab. I was about to say The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue by Addie LaRue. That's not what that is. Permanent Record by Mary H.K. Choi. The Last Story of Mina Lee by Nancy June Kim. And then Yours Truly by Abby Jimenez is the last of my unread books. Now honestly, because I filmed this in 3 different days, I have no idea how many there was, and then like maybe if I feel like it I'll put like a counter if I feel like it, but I'm going to put the final number right here, which is probably a large, embarrassing number, but I'm gonna put it here nonetheless. Yes, so now that I've completely embarrassed myself, I'm gonna end this video. I hope you guys enjoyed this. If there's any books that you think I should put higher on my list, I should prioritize because they're so good, let me know. And if there's any books that are like, don't even waste your time reading them, also let me know that so I don't waste my time. But yes, that is it for today's video, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.